Hey guys, this is Savannah from earthandwater.co. Today I want to talk about brain-heart coherence and what that is and why we should all be doing it all of the time. So brain-heart coherence is essentially just the connection between your brain and your heart that you can use to think and act and speak and live and all of those things. Because we can think, literally think, with our hearts just like we can our heads. And in fact, studies have been done that we are possibly better thinkers with our hearts than our heads. But as, media and whatnot has often told us, if we think only with our hearts, sometimes we go off and do the wrong thing. So it's best to keep them connected, your logical mind with your emotional mind, and it's essentially another form of intuition per se. But there are neurons in your heart, just like the ones in your brain, that you use communicate with, and more communication comes from the heart to the brain than comes from the brain to the heart. Both the brain and the heart also have their own electromagnetic fields, which can be measured, and the heart's electromagnetic field is 5,000 times stronger than the brain's. That is unfathomable, honestly. But it just goes to show how powerful it is. It's been theorized that our spirit, our consciousness, actually resides in our heart. But we get so tied up in our heads, because that's where most of our senses and interactional organs that, interact with the world are, that we think that we're mostly a brain, but we're not. We're mostly a heart. Relating it back to the chakra systems, there are a lot of chakra systems that have the heart chakra as a double heart chakra, so it gives it more merit. It's a very powerful area of the body. But when we can keep the heart and the brain connected at all times, and all it takes is the intention of wanting to do so. You can kind of feel it if you're really, really looking to feel it, the connection between the two, and you just bring them both together. You just find your attention, your consciousness, your awareness in the heart center, and then bring your awareness up to the head, and then bring them down to connect the two. And that's all it takes just to do it. It's all a mental thing, all an intentional thing. But when we stay in this connected manner, we speak better. And by better, I mean with more of a heart-centered intention that is helpful for both ourselves and everybody else and the whole world, essentially. More kindness, more compassion, more understanding, more love, joy, all the good things that we really want to stay over towards all the time. Our decision-making capabilities are better. Our interactions with other people are better, which means our relationships are better. Our stress levels are lowered, our sleep is better, our energy levels are better. It's just, there's so many both physiological things and emotional, mental, spiritual types of things that this is beneficial for. The Heart Math Institute is doing tons of studies on this and its global impact on the world. Like, they're essentially studying the brain-heart coherence and how to take that and relate it to having a global impact through meditation practices. It's so cool that we have these places, these people, these companies that are capable of bringing all of the science and seeing what they can connect, because me and you, regular folks just living day-to-day lives, we don't have access to MRI machines or electromagnetic graph things, and I've never worked with these machines. I've only read about them. So it's super awesome that there are people out there doing the work to bring us the science so that we can, as a society and culture, move closer towards a better future for us all, more surrounded with love, joy, compassion, instead of fear and hatred and separation. To get to that positive future, we have to understand what we're working with on a grander scale. Like, more of us need to understand it, and some of us are more open to hearing these things, and you don't really have to elaborate. You can just be like, hey, did you know you could think with both your heart and your head? You can connect them both, and like, it's joyful and more compassionate and stuff. And some of us are gonna be like, really, that's awesome, I'm gonna start doing that. And then other people are going to be like, prove it. So yeah, I love that science is catching up and we are proving it. But yeah, so here's the thing. It's called gosh, if I could talk today. It's called brain-heart coherence, and it's as simple as intentionally connecting the brain and the heart. I close almost every yoga session like this with just a little tidbit of bringing the awareness to the heart and connecting it with the head, because if we think with only one or the other, problems can ensue. But if we think with both, from a whole connected whole mentality type of thing, because we are whole beings, we're multidimensional beings, and the fact that we've tried to section ourselves off into a mind body, and most of the time don't even bother with the spirit part, it's fractured our sense of being. And if we can just bring ourselves back into this wholeness, because we are whole individuals, and we really have to start seeing ourselves as such to move forward. Anyway, doing that, it can have tremendous positive impact on our lives, the lives of everybody we know and interact with, and is essentially just spreading good energy, right? Because when our emotions and our vibrations radiate out into our auras, and everybody has an aura, and when you're walking around life day to day, bumping into other people's auras, and energy is exchanged, and sometimes that energy is not positive. If somebody's in a really bad mood, it's contagious, right? But if somebody's in a really good mood, then that leaves good energy. And that's essentially another aspect of what we're trying to do here. So yeah, work on that. It is a practice. Everything's a practice. Sometimes you may noticing is the first step of all the practices. Noticing when you're doing it, or intentionally doing it per se, and then noticing when you fall out of it so that you can intentionally bring yourself back to it. And it's just that constant noticing and realigning, and that's the practice. That's why it's called a practice. But it'll get easier, and you'll have to think about it less and less until it just is, and the essence, essentially, of just what you are and who you are, which is our goal in the end, right? To just be better people. Not that we're bad people, we're just having to work through and heal a lot of trauma, essentially, and negative false beliefs, just a lot of things that has been left to us from past generations. Again, I say that with love. They didn't mean to. They didn't know any better, but now we do. So, moving forward. So yeah, practice it. Go ahead and practice it right now. I'm going to leave like 3 minutes at the end of this, as soon as I say goodbye, for meditation music. To just sit here, relax your face, relax your shoulders, sit up tall and straight, and practice connecting your heart and your head. Come join us in the Facebook group. I love you. Have a great day. Namaste.